Hello and good afternoon, Horik. How are you doing today?
Michael, I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm really excited for today. I've been looking forward to this. So, Horik, you are a journaling coach. Is that correct?
Yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
it's correct.
Journaling and performance mindset coach. Journaling would play a huge role in it for sure, Michael.
Yeah,
But there is other elements too around corporate performance and performance as an individual.
amazing. Great. So, I've got the right guy. So, on my journey into the world of ops and habits, I've created the Habits Hub. And one of the things that has always bugged me and plagued me is my inability to maintain the habit of journaling. I've tried 3 or 4 times. I've got about 5 or 6 books, all with the first 15 pages with journaling in. One of the challenges with that is what do you do when you don't use them properly? Do you rip out the rest of the pages? Do you keep going with it on something else? So I have those conundrums sitting behind me. They're not real books, they're just journals I haven't completed. So I'm really looking forward today to try and get the most of it. And one of the reasons why I think this is really important is on my journey talking to ops leaders, I've come across lots of people and I've asked them questions about what's going on in their world. And they haven't necessarily done the thinking. And we
Mm,
have sessions around fear, where people want to go in their future. We also their voice, their stories, and sometimes they don't have the depth of really looking at where they've been and what they've done. And I absolutely know journaling works because when I've used it, it's been really useful. I've just not managed to make it stick. So today
mm.
we've got 25 minutes and you are going to give us your 5 top tips to how we can start journaling. So, without further ado, what is your first tip on what we should think about when we want to start journaling? No pressure.
You've set the stage, Michael, for an exhibition. So I've got 25 minutes to try and squeeze my 8 years of trying and failing myself. I can completely relate to your story as well of like starting, stopping, different journals, writing here, there, everywhere, thinking you're doing it wrong. So what I will try my best to do is squeeze it into five key habits that I share with people and what I've seen the best benefits from with clients that I work with, but also in my own personal use, as I said, from trying and failing for so many years. So I'm happy to dive straight in. Would you like me to start at number one, or would we like to give a little bit of a maybe there's people here that don't really know what journaling is or what the kind of idea behind it,
All right.
where it can get so complex of like, what is journaling? I have to use a specific framework, or I'm
Okay.
not doing it right, or whatever it may be. And for me, journaling is literally just writing down your thoughts, feelings, whatever is on your mind, observations, reflections onto a piece of paper, or you can do it on your laptop typing. And there are no rules to this. It's
Okay.
just a process of dropping it onto a page.
Okay.
And
Cool. So,
you mentioned as well, Michael, about reflection. You do it a lot with your ops leaders and asking them to look back what didn't work, what served them well in the past. And
mm,
it makes me think of a quote that I always say about Steve Jobs. He said that you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards.
oh,
And I
yeah.
think journaling is one of the most powerful tools for reflecting, connecting the dots, and analyzing the problems. I know that's what you do with your clients, and then moving forward in a more streamlined direction.
Okay. Brilliant. So, if that is the
Habits.
frame, the frame of journaling, should we?
Yes,
I reckon we should start with habit number one. So,
let's do it. So I think this habit as well, Michael, can be used across so many different things in life. But I think
okay.
it's such a core habit that it can be applicable in journaling as well, and that is your purpose. What is your why?
Yeah.
Simon Sinek. I don't know if you've ever read his book. It says start with why. It's
Yeah.
one of the central things with anything. And you can look at your New Year's resolutions. People start them, and I think it's after January, only 5% of them continue. I truly believe it's because people haven't started with their why. So think about journaling. Think about why you want to keep a journal, And I love how Simon Sinek, he has a golden circle where on the outside he has the what, the how, and then at the center is the why. So the what is your product. So here I have
Yeah.
an actual journal. The how is writing into it, and then the why is the bit that most people don't know, or they don't have a connection with it. So identifying why you actually want a journal. So that could be your personal reasons. Think about why you want to start journaling and what you hope to achieve through it. So some people want to track their progress toward their goals, while others do it to process thoughts and emotions. So identifying that personal reason can help you kind of start and help you answer that question more effectively. Also connecting it to your goals. So if you have a specific goal that you want to achieve through journaling, explain how journaling can actually help you get there. So for example, if you want to improve your mental health, or you want to improve your relationship with your partner, you might explain how journaling can actually help you process thoughts, bring you to a more calm place in a healthy way, which will then impact different areas of your life, relationships, etc.
All right. Okay. That sounds really interesting. So is that about having an intent to it? So it, like you mentioned, journaling about your relationship with your partner is a very specific thing. And I think when I did it, I was struggling to get some traction at work. And, and I was writing down, I had this conversation and this didn't happen. And actually now I think about it, I think I probably stopped that journal when I started to get the traction I needed. So it had served its purpose. So is that really what it's about? What is the intent? Is it staying focused on that intent as well then?
Absolutely. And what I would also bring in here, Michael, as well, is linking it to your core values. So in life, we focus on the things that are important to us, and what we focus on expands. So if you don't have clarity on what is important, you're living in a reactive way. So for example, you mentioned work there. Is that a part of your core value? How does that apply into something else? Maybe taking care of your family or whatever it may be. And then you can create a framework around that, which is super, super powerful in being consistent and creating a habit for something.
Nice. Okay. I love it. I've got it. Right. So if that's habit number 1, what's habit number 2?
Just start.
Okay.
What are you waiting for? Let's just go. No, it's like, so it genuinely is that easy though. It is just start, and start small as well. Don't try and, Rome wasn't built in a day. So start with something simple, write an even line. And while we're even here, I thought about this beforehand. I'm going to invite you to do that right now. So if there's people that have dialed in, they're new to journaling, let's do something right now. And I want you grab your pen and pencil, your paper and pen as well, Michael. I want you to write down, and whoever is here on the call as well, is one thing that makes you happy and why it makes you happy. All right, one thing that makes you happy and why it makes you happy. Let's spend just 10 seconds doing this right now. You'll see how quick and small this is. So what makes you happy and why it makes you happy?
Done.
Oh, wow. You're getting into it. I was like, we're going to have to give us more time. But how quick was that? And how small was that?
Quick. Yeah.
My example, just to give you reference to people I've joined, I've said fresh bed sheets, because when you get into fresh bed, the sheets are clean, the smell, you sleep better. Such a simple thing, but that has actually evoked positive gratitude, different emotions inside me with such a simple thing to start with. Do you want to share what you wrote down, Michael?
Yeah, so I put swimming in the lake, and my payoff's actually quite a weird one. It's the only place I can get 100% attention on my thoughts. So I get this nice mental satisfaction because I get to think through stuff. So I'll start swimming with something in my head and finish it. Because if I'm at home, I have a wonderful 8-year-old son who loves my attention. And if I'm at work, there's things going off, and quite often I don't get to finish a thought. Whereas I'm in the lake for half an hour, so I can get end to end on a problem. So I love it.
Did you see how beautiful that was just in that moment? How we used one small line and it brought us somewhere completely different, to these personal benefits, these thoughts. So start small, even if it's just one line a day. There's even a journal that you can buy. It's called a 1 line a day journal, where you literally just jot down 1 line a day. So I would really just promote that as a habit. Start small and just start now. You've literally, congratulations if you just took part in that exercise, because you've literally just started journaling.
Brilliant. That's amazing. Cool. Okay. Love it. So we're already 2 habits in, 10 minutes in. So what is habit number 3?
Yeah, I'm conscious of time here as well, like, because I could talk about these habits for so much longer. Number 3 is set a regular time. So choose a time in the day when you can actually dedicate a few minutes to writing. Is the next step on how I would recommend creating this habit. Maybe that depends on the person. So think about your routine. Maybe it's the first thing in the morning. Maybe it's during your lunch, just before you go to bed. Try to make it regular habit is to help establish that type of routine. And something that comes to mind as well is James Clear. I'm sure you know more than anyone about habit stacking and habit building, Michael, but he talks a lot about finding something that's already a habit or something that's in your routine and sliding journaling into that. So for example, for me, I drink coffee in the morning. That's always a part of my routine. I go to the coffee machine, I make the espresso, I make my coffee. I could easily just slide my journaling habit in after that. And then I'm stacking both of them together. It's a very quick way of explaining it, but habit stacking, find your routine, find something within your routine that you can stack it with. And then talk about, I usually talk about a little bit around the kind of 4 laws of behavior change as well.
Okay,
And
tell
these
me
are
about
so
that.
key
You've
as
got
well.
time.
Yeah, I think I just want to touch on this. Yeah. Because we can talk about the routine, we can talk about everything else, but there's so much more that goes into it as well. So the kind of 4 laws of that behavior change will be: number 1 is to make it obvious. So my example is leaving it beside the coffee machine, leaving it there. It's in sight. It's visible to me. Second thing is to make it attractive. So how can we make it more attractive that you're actually going to follow through with the actual practice? So for me, it could be writing about something that excites me, maybe a project that I'm working on, maybe an idea that I have. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to make it easy. We've already just done that. It's give yourself permission just to write 1 sentence, 1 line, keep it short, keep it simple. And then the 4th to remember is to make it satisfying.
Oh, okay.
So after you do it, give yourself some sort of treat. So let's say if I do it while my coffee is being made, I then afterwards am I going to have that reward, which is coffee, or for some people maybe it's opening up social media and having a quick browse of LinkedIn or WhatsApp, whatever it may be. So if you follow those kind of 4 laws of behavior change as well, while bringing it into your routine, it's an incredibly powerful way to be more consistent as well.
Yeah, I love it, and it's the things that we so easily forget as well. Just about the make it easy is the have the journal next to the coffee machine, like with the pen. Don't use the pen on anything else. It's so tiny, isn't it? And it just they're massive. The rewards are massive, aren't they?
And even make it even simpler for yourself. Again, this journal, I'll use this example throughout. It's a 5-minute journal that was gifted to me. I leave it beside my bed. So, and it's actually structured in a specific way that you put an entry in the morning and then you do an entry in the afternoon or in the evening before you go to sleep. So in the morning I wake up, I write in it. In the evening I would do another entry just to help me sleep better. Again, we could talk about the benefits, but beside your bed is also a great place to leave your journal. It's inside, it's easy, it's there, and it's a great way to kick it all off.
Yeah, and yeah, it absolutely is. And one thing you said about the before bed helps you sleep easier.
Mm.
The amount I've had periods where I've been got myself into a bit of stress, worried a bit too much about things that don't matter. Actually, one of the ways I resolved that was by just emailing it off to myself, so it was there ready for work first thing when I sat down. That's a form of journaling, isn't it? You could email your thoughts from the day before, just saying, "This is what happened yesterday. This is what you need to do today."
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the perfect example of journaling, and the technique I would usually recommend to people are it's exactly as you said, Michael. It's like brain dump. You may have heard that term, or free writing is also another one where it's literally you're just emptying your brain onto the page. Just whatever comes to mind, just write it down, and you will
Okay.
genuinely feel lighter after it as well, and improve sleep, etc.
Nice, nice. And actually, where you're talking about brain dumping, that sounds a bit like habit number 4, because I know what the headline is for habit number 4. So tell me about habit number 4.
Yeah, well, habit number 4, we again linking back to the journal. It's using prompts and
Yeah.
questions. So journaling prompts are basically questions, suggestions, or ideas that you can help to inspire you to write. It's a great tool for those who are especially new to journaling. or those who want to kind of get a bit of variety into their practice. And it just makes life easier, as I mentioned. So here in these journaling prompts, I don't have to think every morning when I wake up. It's already here. You know, we have the gratitude practice. What am I grateful for? What is going to make today great? In the evening, then the prompts are, what are the highlights of the day? What did I learn today? So there's simple reflections there as well. Prompts, they provide structure. It boosts creativity. You can explore different themes, sessions, topics, whatever you want. The big thing, I believe, that the prompts are really helpful, especially you could use it with your clients in operations as well, as that kind of self-reflection piece. And we spoke about it at the start as well with Steve Jobs and his particular quote. You know, they can encourage self-reflection, introspection, helping you kind of gain that deeper understanding of yourself, your emotions, the people around you, leading to gain clarity, insights into your inner world, so much more stuff. But the journaling prompts, as I mentioned, are super powerful thing. If I may just recommend, if you're here, you're kind of like, okay, this is great. Where do I find journaling prompts?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is that can you tell me? You can tell me where I can find some, or have you got some other models that you could just quickly tell us about, because we have the time?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, this was one that was gifted to me. You can buy them online. Even if you just typed in guided journal, there's so many available online. Or you could even go onto ChatGPT. If there's a particular area that you want a bit of inspiration from, put it into ChatGPT, ask it for some prompts. And finally, I would say this is one technique that was recommended to me in the past, and I've tried it, and it was incredibly powerful. And it's just answering 3 simple questions for the next 30 days. And you could start this right now and then continue for 30 days. So the 3 questions are, what gave me energy today? What took my energy away? And then the final question, what did I learn?
Nice.
If you answered those 3 prompts every day you don't even need to do 30 days. If you've done that for 7 days, you would be surprised what you will learn about yourself, what you'll learn about your energy, and ultimately what's serving you and what's not serving you.
Yeah, I love it. And I think you remind me, I've actually used it with a couple of employees before. They're getting a bit down on work and everything was going wrong. So at the end of the day, just write, all you got to do to finish the day, write 3 things that you really enjoyed today. And that's it. And you can leave the office at the end of the day. Is that it? And it was amazing just taking the moment to sit and reflect on the things that happened. They soon started to come around and enjoy work more. It's really stupidly powerful. And it's one of those tools that you just think, it can't, can it? It does. So it's great.
Yeah, for something so simple. Yeah, and there's loads of other resources out there. You know, you see a lot now in I don't know if you've ever read the book Meditations, but it originally wasn't a book by Marcus Aurelius. So the Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men at the time in history. He literally used prompts and questions in his journal, reflected on his role and him staying true to his values at a time when he was one of the most powerful men in the world. He literally just responded to prompts and questions that he had created for himself. And it turned into one of the most famous books, which it wasn't intended to be a book, but it just gives you an example of how powerful some simple little journaling reflections can be for you. And to get started. And if anyone has any questions on this as well, like, please just drop me a DM. More than happy to share some prompts, things to get started, examples. I have so many resources available, so I'm happy to share them too, for sure.
Amazing, brilliant, cool. So we are at our last habit. So habit number 5. What is the habit to cap this all off, to make sure we can all start journaling and keep it going?
I was struggling to put this into one line because I think there's a couple of ways of looking at this, but ask for support. Just start asking for support more. If that could be with a coach, if it's with a therapist or some experienced friend that's journaled, or someone that you can journal with. It's an incredibly powerful tool. I've been running a survey at the moment because I'm building out a separate program that's going to be focused on building specific journaling systems for individuals. And in that survey, I've asked people, what has been the main reason you have stopped or never tried journaling? And the one with the highest response was lack of motivation or accountability. And there's really two ways of looking at this. So I mentioned one is getting someone that's experienced. So start working with a coach, or maybe it's a therapist or someone in the space that can provide you with a bit of guidance that can help you get started. For me personally, when I don't have some skin in the game, when I don't have an investment in something as well, I find it hard to actually fully commit or to create that habit of doing it.
Yeah.
So that would be one of them anyways, getting that investment, you know. I'm starting with a coach on the 3rd of June, which I'm super excited about, which again is taking my writing to the next level. Again, that's me making the investment, asking for the support and creating that accountability, that I will do it more and more. Number 2, in this specific space of asking for support, is find an accountability buddy. Find someone in your network. Maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's your partner, or, you know, someone that you know is interested in this, that you can become accountability buddies.
Yeah.
What's an example of that? And I recommend you even trying this, Michael, okay? So with your partner, just text each other once every day, one thing that you're grateful for or why, or one thing that makes you smile and why. It sounds so simple, and it might even sound a little silly, but trust me, I have tested this only a couple of weeks ago with a couple of my friends for a 2-week period, where every day we would text each other one thing that we're grateful for and why. And it was incredibly powerful for a number of reasons. One was the accountability aspect. So if I forgot to do it, my friend would text me and be like, oh, I'm grateful for this, and this is why I'm grateful for it. And I would read what he was grateful for. That gave me power and energy. And then it also held me accountable to reply to him. And then I would reply, this is what I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, but it's we're doing it with other people, and it's a funny one. And I had no intention of talking about the Habits Hub, which I run, but one of the things we do is a 9-week productivity sprint. And everyone has a 5-minute window to talk about what happened last week and why, and like if they were successful. So this reflective things, but also the things that they're going to do next week. And it's the capturing the intent, whether it's written. We had someone sending it in by video because they couldn't make a call, or actually in person, and then sharing it with other people. Because if you know you've got to share your thing with other people, we're much more. The science says we are much more likely to stick to it.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's exactly, I couldn't agree with that anymore. So you've already incorporated that into your system and your offering, Michael. So you know better than anyone how powerful it can be. So anyone that's dialed in, just find someone in your life, text them, or, WhatsApp, whatever it may be.
Yeah, absolutely. So to wrap up, believe it or not, we are through. We've done our 5. So our 5 habits are: habit number 1, start with why. Habit number 2, just start the bloody thing. just get going. Habit number 3, a regular time and stack it in. 4, use prompts and questions. Make sure you've got some things to keep you going. And 5, involve some other people and ask for help.
Absolutely perfect. And we smashed that in 23 minutes. That was quick.
Just 23 minutes. Are there any final thoughts that you have on journaling, that something's come into your head? I must share this into the world. Is there anything that you've popped into your head that you want to share?
2 things. I would say be patient.
Nice.
Just be patient and kind with yourself. If you start and you stop, like all of us do, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up and think, oh, I failed, I'm not going to do it again. And then we don't open the journal again. You can miss days. Studies have shown if you just journal 3 times a week for 15 minutes, you will see huge benefits. Reductions in anxiety, depression, more productivity. That's 3 times a week for 15 minutes. So even if you can just put in your calendar 3 15-minute slots, even if it's 3 10-minute slots, you're going to see the benefits. I think all of us can do that. But just be patient, be kind with yourself. And finally, I'm not going to force journaling on everyone. It is an amazing tool. It can work for a lot of people, but I'm not saying it's going to work for absolutely everybody. So I would say test it. Don't force it on yourself. If it becomes an absolute chore, then maybe journaling isn't for you.
Yeah, I love it. And it might even just be needed for moments as well. So it might be something you pick up, use, like I think my reflection here is that actually I used it, got what I needed and put it down. And that's great, because actually we don't need to use all the habits and all the tricks and all the tips all the time. It's brilliant. So one night final thing. If someone wants to find you and geek out in all things journaling, where can they find you? How should they get in contact?
Yeah, well, my LinkedIn profile is probably the best place to get me right now. So drop me a message. I will be actually posting a lot about journaling over the coming weeks as I try and build out a whole journaling program. It's going to be called the School of Journaling, which is literally just going to teach people how to journal. Habits will come into it, prompts, framework, systems. But yeah, LinkedIn, drop me a DM, connect, follow, and I'm more than happy to share any tips or tricks along the way as well. As you can probably tell, I'm pretty passionate about journaling. It's quite niche,
Yeah.
it's specific, but I'm kind of like on a mission of trying to get as many people trying journaling, seeing the benefits as I can over the next couple of months. So don't be shy, drop me a message.
Yeah, and absolutely good luck, because it is really important. It has served me, doesn't serve me at the moment, but I know I will come with these tips when I need it. I'll be able to pick it back up. And actually, I want to thank everyone who's watching. And if you're an ops leader and you're really struggling to work out what's next, give me a shout. I'm happy to help you. If it's not me and it's Porrick, I will pass you to Porrick, because it's not about me solving my problems. It's about me helping you find the ways to get home on time. And when you're home, getting it out of your head so you can go to sleep as well. It's really important. So that is it. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a beautiful afternoon.
Cheers, Michael. Cheers, everyone.